Of DMS 3000 News, and it is episode 93 on this Wednesday afternoon, December 27th, 2023. Hope that you are having a fantastic Christmas season. We are in the third day of the octave of Christmas, as what they call it, and we're on our way to the full 12 days of Christmas. We are on day number 3. And of course, I am your gracious host and moderator of this fantastic program, Jason DeCanio, all out in white with my Santa hat, which will be on all this week. Our Christmas theme will be here all this week. Christmas commercials will be here up until Friday. Next week, we go into New Year's, where we go back to our New Year's Christmas, not really Christmas, but we'll still have the 12 days of Christmas to talk about. New Year's commercials, getting you on all those healthy plans, those weight loss commercials. But, of course, we'll have regular commercials as well, back to what we had as well. But a new logo will be launched next week. You're just going to have to watch and see what that new logo is all about. It's made by me, and I think it's one of probably the best ones I've ever made for the show. And I think my CEO approves of it, although he's like, I want to stick to the original one. But anyways, I think we just kind of have to up it up for 2024. Plus, hopefully, sometimes either this week or next week, we're going to have a special show where me and David St. Dennis will be here to launch the spring 2024 channel lineup for you, to give you all the shows that's going to be coming out, some new programming, and some of your favorites that will be returning January 8th live. So that should be very interesting, as they say. Now, getting back to what we're doing here today on the program. Yeah, and there's Pump It Up, Step It Up. All right, I stepped it up. Thank you, Emu. He's a character. He's great. All right, first up on today's program, first article today on the 12 days of Christmas, 3 French hens. Yes, we'll be looking at that symbolic history of why on the third day of Christmas we get French hens. Why can't we get Italian hens? Or Korean hens, Chinese hens, Mexican hens. I don't know. Why does it have to be French? We'll find out about all of that. Why the French are giving up their hens on Christmas Day. Not sure. And here is 11 smart ways to store your Christmas decorations according to professional organizers. Yeah, if you're not quite sure how to pack up all your Christmas stuff so that it lasts and lasts and lasts year after year, so you won't have to buy new all the time, here's 11 smart ways to store your Christmas decorations, according to the professional organizers. So we'll see what happens. And then we have 6 Christmas stories of wonder and love. I mentioned last week that we were going to have some fantastic Christmas stories that were actual true stories that have happened to people, and they share their great stories of wonderful Christmas tales all of this week. So we'll look at 6 of them today. And even though we may not have time for all 6, depending on how the length of it is, we'll pick up, of course, where we left off and keep those intact for you. Of course, we have no headlines today, but sports and other important information. What day is today? And, of course, our motivation of the day as well. Oh, Emu says, that I can't wait for because my bedroom. Yeah, thank you. Oh, you can't wait for what? My bedroom has all my family's decorations, sadly. Well, yeah, we'll give you 11 great tips of that, so make sure you are in the room when that article comes up. It'll come up later on in the program, sometime around the 4:45 area, maybe the 5 o'clock time, okay? Just depends on how big the article is. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and get ready because we've got a lot of information to give to you today. We'll start, of course, with the NBA scores, get you on that from last night. And it was a good one for the Nets. They get to 15-15. They sweep the home and home against the Pistons, go up 118-112. Should beat them because considering the fact that the Pistons have probably the worst record in basketball right now at 2-28, I wouldn't doubt that. If they lost to them, that would have been a shocker. But hey, it is the Nets, by the way. And for all my Brooklyn fans out there, you know what I'm talking about. All right, Magic beat the Wizards 127-119. It was the Bulls over the Hawks 118-113. Thunder over the Timberwolves 129-106. Jazz take on the Spurs, beat them up in San Antonio 130-118. Grizzlies final over the Pelicans in OT by 1. Grizzlies win 116 to 115. Pacers over the Rockets 123 to 117. It was the Trailblazers over the Kings 130 to 113. And the Clippers take care of the Hornets 113 to 104. Tonight's games, well, we've got a lot of them. Let's see. 76ers take on the Magic at 7. At 7 will be the Raptors and the Wizards. Bucks go to Barclays Center to take on the Nets. I hope the Nets will win this game and show the Bucks that they mean something for a change instead of them getting their butts whooped. Knicks face the Thunder and OKC at 8 o'clock. Suns will take on the Rockets in Houston at 8. And the late game is an actual 8:30 game. Cavaliers and Mavericks tonight at 8:30. All right, let's go to the NHL and look at what's going on there. We had a lot of good ones. We got some games tonight, but we have some scores from last night. Let's see. Tuesday, December 19th. I don't want to go back that far. Wow. Okay. Let's see. We had no games from last night. So tonight's games are actually today. The Panthers will face the Lightning at 7 o'clock. Capitals face off with the Rangers at the Garden at 7. Blue Jackets will take on the Devils at 7 o'clock. Another 7 o'clock game. Senators at Maple Leafs. At 7:30, the Bruins will take on the Sabres in Buffalo. Penguins at the Islanders at 7:30. These are the 8 o'clock games. Red Wings at Wild. Hurricanes at Predators. Stars at the Blues. Avalanche at the Coyotes at 9 o'clock. Jets at the Blackhawks at 9. Kraken will take on the Flames in Calgary at 9:30. Sharks at the Kings at 10. And the Golden Knights will face the Ducks at 10 o'clock tonight in Anaheim. Should be very interesting, these games tonight, and we'll look at those scores for you tomorrow. Thursday night football, we'll have, I think the Jets will be playing tomorrow, but we'll give you that all tomorrow there. Now for the important information that I like to share with you pretty much here. I have my small cup of eggnog today, which is only 4 points. It's pretty good to sip eggnog. It's a little snack. It's holiday season. Staying within my points pretty good today, actually. You know, it's interesting. A lot of people say, how the heck can you eat Dunkin' Donuts on Weight Watchers? You can. You can. You just got to stay away from the donuts. Here are the big things that can cost you a lot of points at Dunkin' Donuts if you don't choose wisely, like Yoda, okay? First of all, instead of having a donut, which costs you 12 points, have munchkins. If you want 12 points, get your munchkins at 3 points apiece and have 4 of them. Flavor does not matter. So you can have the chocolate, you can have the plain glazed or the powdered sugar or the cinnamon ones, or even the holiday ones that come out on Halloween and Christmas time, or even at Valentine's Day as well. Whatever the case, all munchkins, all flavors, 3 points per little ball, and they are just a little bite, and that's all you need. A couple of munchkins and a cup of coffee, you're good to go. Coffee, no points. Of course, if you doctor it up with cream and sugar, it's more points as well. Here's another thing. Bagels, all bagels are 5 points regardless of where you go. Cream cheese is nothing. Now, muffins, stay the heck away from those blueberry muffins. I know everybody likes them, and I know it's something to fill you up, but do you know that one muffin, 26 points, folks? It's a lot of fat. That's what it is. Fat and sugar. That's all it is. So, yes, they're yum yum in the tum-tum, but they will cost you points. And if you want to eat your whole day's worth, you eat one muffin in one sitting. And if you've got 36 points like I do, and you eat a muffin 26, you better douse it with an unsweet green tea or something that's going to cost you nothing, because then you only have 10 points for the rest of the day. Not very cost-wise. So what I do for my 13-point breakfast is I buy a bagel with cream cheese, plain. Okay, plain bagel, plain cream cheese, have it toasted. And then what I do is I get that snacking bacon, in the little pouch. And I put the snacking bacon, that's 4 points for the whole thing. put the snacking bacon inside the bagel and give the cream cheese a little bit of a sweet and a savory at the same time. And then I get, for 6 pieces at 4 points, the hash browns. And I eat those as is. Then I have my sweet or unsweet green tea, and that is no points. So altogether, the bagel with the cream cheese, 5 points. Snack and bacon, 4 points. Hash browns, 4 points. No points for the green tea. Total, 13. Yep. And there you have it, folks. A 13-point breakfast. It's satisfying. It's filling. You get your protein. You get your carbs, your cream cheese, and you're good to go. Yep. Now, what does he say? Oh, I don't like blueberry muffins. I stay away from those all the time. Well, yeah. Even if you don't like there's other types of muffins too. All muffins are 26 points, and I don't like anything blueberry related. Okay, well, but it is the popular muffin that everybody would get if that was the case. You are the exception to the rule, Emo. So in your case, a chocolate or a bran muffin or something else is probably going to be up your sleeve, but I would stay away from all muffins because they cost a lot of points. They're just pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, they're just wasted points, empty calories, and you don't need them. So go for the other alternatives. Definitely the snack and bacon is really good. You can go for a bacon, egg, and cheese over there, but again, it's going to cost you points. It's probably going to cost you about 12 or 13 points just for the sandwich, because you got to remember, you got the egg, you got the cheese, you got your bacon or your sausage, and of course your bagel. So those are points that add up. So if you do a plain bagel and you buy everything separately, you might be able to get away with, adding those up instead of having one big sandwich. The important thing is to, of course, count for all of your points or whatever you're doing for Weight Watchers or however you're going to be doing, especially now with the new year coming up. I'm already ahead of the game. So people said, man, you started after Thanksgiving. Smart idea. But what about Christmas? Don't worry about Christmas, folks. I got through Christmas okay, and I'm a living proof that you can still enjoy your Christmas food. You just got to do it in moderation. That's my important information for you today. Of course, I'll have more other important information later on in the program, as always. And at 4:13, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to look at what day is today and then get on with our articles. We'll be right back right after this.
Burger King has a great gift idea for the holidays that'll go a long distance. No, not another necktie for Dad. Or a necklace for Mom. Get up to 15 minutes of free crystal clear communication from U.S. Sprint when you buy a $5 book of Burger King gift certificates. Give the certificates to friends for great tasting Burger King food and use the free long distance to call anyone you like. So get fiber optic communication and ring in the holidays with Burger King. For great gift ideas, at Burger King, sometimes you've got to break the rules.
'Tis the season to save at Montgomery Ward. This Friday through Sunday, save an extra 5, 10, 15% throughout the store, even on sale prices. Save an extra 15% on all diamonds, gemstones, all robes, and more. Save an extra 10% on all 14-karat gold, all furniture, and more. All electronics and appliances are on sale. Then save an extra 5% on all refrigerators by Amana, GE, and more. Plus, shop late and save this Friday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. only.
Montgomery Ward, we won't be beat, guaranteed. Dad, tomorrow, can we go to the playground?
All right, we're headed to the playground.
Yeah, we're going to the playground.
Have fun.
I'll see you later. I'm headed to the playground.
Yeah, just like that.
I've got one more. You think I've never been to the playground?
Shop Best Buy and experience the magic of giving the perfect gift.
We were walking in circles. I'm still dizzy. I never want to see them all again, ever. I just want to stay here and watch a movie.
Take a holiday from shopping. Make it a blockbuster night. Carly knew what she wanted.
I'll take the apartment.
So you're moving in today. Welcome to 113.
From the moment she moved in, someone was watching her every move. Sliver from Paramount Home Video, rated R.
was a bit before Christmas, and all through the house, nothing was stirring, not even a... I ran to the kitchen. What could it be? Christmas crunch from the cabin to me.
This crunch is special to make breakfast merry. It's loaded with yummy red and green crunch berries.
Very sweet. Delicious.
But it's only here till Christmas. Christmas crunch is a very merry part of this balanced breakfast.
Look, the soggies and the crunch berries.
Who gave us these?
Captain Crunch?
There's one of 4 jolly ornaments in each specially marked box of Christmas crunch.
What holiday is today, or what day is today, is our next thing up on our list here. And I think we have a pretty interesting situation for the lovers of National Fruitcake Day. Yeah, today it is National Fruitcake Day here on the program. And either you love it or you hate it, because there is no between. It's kind of like sushi. It's the same way. That is our holiday of the day, and a day to celebrate every eccentric person you know. Wait, that's not right. It's a day for lovers of fruitcake to rejoice in the delights of the world's most misunderstood fruit. A fruitcake is a boozy, chewy, rich amalgam of dried fruit, nuts, and sugars saturated with your favorite alcohol, most commonly brandy or bourbon. That produces a dense, sweet, and textured treat generally served around the holidays. Fruitcakes have been found in ancient Egyptian tombs, so you know that the tradition is steeped in history as well as booze. Are you nutty as a fruitcake? Find out in our fun-filled page of fruitcake trivia celebrating National Fruitcake Day. Here's the timeline. It started in 500 BC. Let me point up my pointer here. The earliest documented recipe for fruitcake in ancient Rome consisted of ingredients like pomegranate seeds, raisins, and pine nuts mixed with barley. Go to the 18th century. If being tasty was a crime, fruitcake made with sugar and butter was banned for some time in Europe because it was too rich and tasty. Now go to 1956. The humble loaf also appeared in pop culture, like in Truman Capote's book, A Christmas Memory, in which young Capote's eccentric cousin would bake fruitcake when, according to her, it was proper fruitcake weather. Yeah, that's for sure. And then January 7th, 1995, Fruitcake Toss Day. Shortly after National Fruitcake Day is Fruitcake Toss Day, created to get rid of leftover Christmas fruitcakes, which you should not be wasting it. Here's a National Fruitcake Day survey results, data gathered by a top Philadelphia marketing agency. The National Today data science team asked 1,000 people, how do you feel about fruitcake? Well, these are our unfiltered results. 14.99% don't like it. Only 14%. But 14.12%, I've never tried it. And 9% or 9.02%, I would never buy fruitcake. 8.08% say they like it. 7.86% say I eat it if it's homemade, which makes sense. 7.5%, I throw it out. And 7.13% say it's the worst Christmas food in existence. 5.24% say I only eat it if I know what's in it. Means that you would only eat it if it was homemade. Yeah, going back to the other people in the 7% tile. 4.8% said I've never tried it, but still make fun of it. Well, maybe you need to try it before you start making fun of it again. There you go. 4.66% said I only eat it to be polite. Well, that means that you have very, very strict parents or relatives who basically would frown if you destroyed their fruitcake in any which way, shape, or form. So if you're eating it just to be polite, I think you might want to try a different direction and just either say, I don't like it, period, and take the consequences. Okay. 4.08% say it's my favorite Christmas food. 3.35 say I have a family fruitcake recipe passed down. 3.28% says I've made my own fruit cake. And 3.2 actually say I regift it. Wow. Where do I fall in on that? Depends on who's making it. I'll only probably eat it if it's homemade, because after a while, if it sits, it's no good. You have to eat it day of, and because the brandy soaks in there and the booze gives it that, and you got to eat it when it's soft and moist, because they'll get hard very quickly. You might be able to revitalize the darn thing with some more brandy, but how much more drunk can a fruitcake get, right? So, National Fruitcake Day activities. Well, since the ingredients of fruitcake vary widely, have a party where each guest makes his or her own version of the treat. You can even hold a contest for the best version. Winner earns everlasting glory. Yeah. Give the gift of fruitcakes. You know, fruitcakes are a traditional gift, and mail-order fruitcakes have been around since the early 1900s. So take a note from your ancestors and order a tasty, quality fruitcake available through the mail to gift to your friends. And you can keep the tradition alive by creating your own fruitcake. If you don't have a family recipe, adapt a recipe from a popular cookbook. All the ingredients can be purchased, but why not make it a family tradition to dry your own fruit? Not only will your fruitcake taste better, but it will be healthier and better for you. Toast some fresh nuts, use honey instead of sugar, and use top shelf booze to make a real fruitcake lover's fruitcake. Yeah, top shelf booze, kind of like Courvoisier cognac, or maybe E&J brandy, maybe something like that. Maybe use a very high quality brandy or a cognac to really get it going there. And why we love National Fruitcake Day. You know, fruitcakes are traditionally associated with the arrival of winter, when heavier desserts and food in general are served. Their popularity grew before refrigeration allowed an easy way to keep food fresh, so other means of preservation had to be devised. Pouring alcohol over them until no more could be absorbed was one way to preserve them for months, because it was believed they got better with age. And an early recipe from Rome lists pomegranate seeds, pine nuts, and raisins as fruitcake's main ingredients. But any extra fruit you have lying around is fair game for all this encompassing dessert. Okay, and fruitcake is consumed in different forms around the world, and we mean all over. It's served in America, the Bahamas, Bulgaria, Canada, France, Germany, and Ireland, among other places. So there you have it, friends. National Fruitcake Day in all of its glory. Love it, hate it, none of the above. It's like sushi. Depends on if you grew up with it or not. I grew up with it. I can take it or leave it. It just depends on who makes it. Store-bought ones, they're not the same. I rather would get the panettone one, which would be the Hershey chocolate kind of fruitcake. It kind of holds off better than the other one. And if for all of those who didn't realize that when you eat a cannoli, you know what's in the filling? Dried fruit. Yes. The original traditional cannoli doesn't have chocolate chips in it. The cream, that is. It has dried fruit. So there you have the Italian way, another way of eating your dried fruit without making the fruitcake. Eat a cannoli the original way, and you'll see that what you're really having in that mascarpone cheese, or that filling, is dried fruit. We'll be back 4:25. When we come back, it's our first article of the day, the 12 Days of Christmas. We'll look at 3 French hens. More of DMS 3000 News right after this.
You gotta get down to Hooters, have a drink, catch the game, get yourself some awesome wings. It's the place to do your thing. and get on down to Hooters.
Oh, there's no place.
This holiday season, the magic begins at Lowe's. You'll see every kind of decoration and ornament imaginable. And the very latest in holiday lights. There are trees of every description.
You mean it comes this way, lights and all?
Lights and all. And only Lowe's has the Carrolltown collection. Lowe's has low prices every day, guaranteed.
You can't beat home, sweet home.
Lowe's, improving home improvement.
All done, and we saved a lot.
What about Mom?
Let's get her a digital camera.
A new camcorder, a notebook, a netbook. How about a PC Richard & Son gift card?
I got it. Let's get her a Sharp Quattron LED TV. We save up to $800 and get 24 months special financing.
You're gonna buy your mother an HD TV?
Not my mother, your mother.
But my mother lives with us.
Exactly.
PC Richard & Son.
Welcome to the perfect holiday party. Here, even the figure eights are more than you'd expect. When you get hungry, food is never in short supply. And there's a miracle on every street. Of course, life isn't always perfect, so there's Walgreens. Open every day, many 24 hours, with everything needed for the holidays. That's life. This is Walgreens.
All right, it's time for the 12 Days of Christmas continuation of the history of the historic breakdown of each day. And today we have day 3, which means on the 3rd day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 French hens. And this article is by Professor Joel Felix, and he's going to give us the rundown of the 3 French hens. So to a French historian, the 3 French hens of the 12 Days of Christmas inevitably recalls the story of King Henry IV and the chicken in the pot, which was popularized by Voltaire in his historical works. The famous 18th century philosopher reminded how Henry IV, the head of the Bourbon dynasty, who brought back peace to the kingdom after the French Wars of Religions from 1562 to 1598, he wished that the peasants would now be able to cook a chicken every Sunday. The figure of Henry IV, whose etiquette of Nantes, the Edict of Nantes, authorized both Catholicism and Protestantism, it was only recalled by his grandson Louis XIV in 1685, became a hero in the Age of Enlightenment as reformers were recalling for tolerance, reason, and progress. The story of the chicken in the pot, unlike the goose with the golden eggs, which emphasized the accumulation of money, came to embody the goal that institutions should aim for and achieve, namely happiness. Shortly after Louis XV's death in 1774, the character of Henry IV further gained in popularity. The latter's achievements were associated with great expectations that the public placed in the royal couple. Louis XIV, or Louis XVI actually, and his queen Marie Antoinette, and the new rulers of the country craving for reforms. The 2 engravings below show the young Louis XVI personally mentored by his ancestor Henry IV, and the queen empathized with the hardship of a poor peasant family to which she gave a gold coin to add a hen to their meager soup, or their meager soup. Wow. Oh boy. Interesting. So we scroll down. The allegory of the chicken in the pot was also especially relevant in a period which saw the birth of economics, or the modern economy. At the same time as Voltaire was writing, a group of intellectuals known as the physiocrats argued, like Adam Smith did later, that the origins of wealth were to be found in the capacity to produce and consume goods, and not in the unproductive accumulation of money by the king's financiers. Physiocracy, physiocracy, literally the power of nature, proposed the first economic program of government based on Dr. Quisney's I'm sorry. My thing is getting a little tongue-tied here. I'm sorry. Okay. let's get back to here. All right. Physiocracy, literally the power of nature, proposed the first economic program of government based on Dr. Quisney's path-breaking tableau économique, which also proposed the first economical model of wealth creation and reproduction. One of the key features of physiocracy, they were mostly implemented during the French Revolution, was to support agriculture productivity by means of a reform that would tax the net revenue of the landowners only, not of the ordinary peasant who usually rented land. As the initiators, the capital, and the beneficiaries, revenue of wealth, and the physiocrats, such as Dupont de Nemours, also demanded the abolition of excise duties and domestic tolls, allowing for the suppression of costly and unproductive tax agents. Wow. So as France was heading toward the French Revolution, the chicken in the pot became the symbol of the social aspirations to equality and plenty, often in opposition to the privileged. The image below shows a poor sans-culotte putting a hen on top of his pike with the words, "Ça ira," it will fit. It draws a parallel with the beheadings of Berthier de Sauvagne, Intendant de Paris, and his son-in-law Foulon shortly after the fall of the Bastille. Foulon, what a name, had been accused of cruelty towards the hardships of the poor for allegedly telling the people to eat grass in a period of poor harvest and higher bread prices. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay. The imagery of the chicken in the pot is perhaps best encapsulated in the new revolutionary jeu de louet, or the equivalent of the English snakes and ladders, where the goose is now replaced by a hen. According to the rules, a favorable draw of the dice would see the lucky player move automatically from hen to hen and reach the goal, or the cornucopia. The other players were sure to get 3 there eventually, for each of the game boxes represented the major events that had successfully paved the way to the abolition of the monarchy in 1792. Wow. If that's what became the Chutes and Ladders game of today, man, we've come a long way. In the 19th century, the allegory of the chicken in the pot remained a distinctive symbol for the reformers who sought to encourage agricultural progress, as well as the radicals who pursued the French revolutionary agenda into the age of the Industrial Revolution. And during the Revolution of 1848, the chicken in the pot was seen as both the cause and the remedy to the class war. As the conditions of the population and the representation of their political interest improved with the establishment of the Third Republic from 1870 to 1940, the transformative agenda associated with the story of King Henry IV inevitably faded away. Wow. All this for 3 French hens. There you have it. All right. There's your story. Woo! My one conclusion to this is that if it all led up to it, we pretty much be in a situation where once you do give 3 French hens to a person and they realize that it is the 3rd day of Christmas, my only drawback is, what are we doing with the hens? Are we cooking them or going to get their eggs for breakfast? I don't know. But there is your history and all of its glory on 3 French hens. Tomorrow, we will look at 4 calling birds. Yes, on the 4th day of Christmas, 4 calling birds. We'll see that history tomorrow in one of our great of 3 articles. We'll see 4 calling birds tomorrow on the program. Next up, we're going to look at 11 smart ways to store your Christmas decorations, according to professional organizers. And then we're going to share some Christmas stories of wonder and love. 6 to be exact. If we've got time, we might be doing all 6. But all of that and more on DMS 3000 News when we come back right after this.
Wow, you sure got a lot of stuff for Joey.
I know, but he's been so good this year.
Do you think he hurt us?
No. Surprise your pet with something from the PetSmart Holiday Village, where we have over 1,000 exclusive toys, treats, and gifts.
Here you go, Joey.
Season's greetings from PetSmart. Need the perfect gift for a pet lover on your list? Fetch a PetSmart gift card. Complete the package with this cute dog toy, only at PetSmart.
Christmas comes to Radio Shack, and you just can't wait, just can't wait.
If you want to give a gift that really excites, choose a remote control racer, Jeep, or tank from the Radio Shack fleet. If you want to give a gift that provides hours of fun, select a handheld game from the Radio Shack arcade. Games and vehicles each sold separately. Batteries not included.
You just can't wait for a Christmas pack from Radio Shack.
I make this jam every year.
Christmas doesn't happen without me.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Taco John's wants you to have a happy holiday the Mexican way with Nachos Navidad. Lots of fresh-made corn tortilla chips piled high and topped with all kinds of delicious things. Nachos Navidad from Taco John's. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. And from Taco John's.
iPhone 15 Pro for your husband. iPhone 15 Pro.
Carolers, to tell me you want a new iPhone, a better plan's Verizon.
No way they take this break.
Yes, they will, and you'll get iPhone 15 Pro and Apple TV 4K and Apple One, all three on them. Do that. We tried to tell him, but he paid us a lot.
It was a lot.
This holiday, turn any iPhone in any condition into a new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All three on us. It's holiday every day with Verizon.
I know how thrifty you are. No lying. So save on White Castle's holiday stack. 10 yummy 100% U.S. beef hamburgers steam grilled on a bed of onions for a dickens of a price. Happy holiday. Take home the holiday huggables. There's one in every Castle meal, only at White Castle, where we give like Santa and you save like Scrooge. White Castle.
All right, it's time now for 11 smart ways to store your Christmas decorations, according to the professional organizers. Jamie Novak will give us this helpful hint from last year, actually, on January 11th. And with these pro tips for storing Christmas ornaments and everything else, you'll never have to deal with broken balls, tangled lights, and smushed wreaths ever again. So let's take a look and see what we have. Christmas is magical, but it's also a lot of hard work. After all, you created much of that magic yourself with the best Christmas decorating ideas, from shiny ornaments and twinkling lights adorning your tree to festive wreaths and outdoor Christmas decorations. Now, putting all of it away, however, can seem anything but magical, since it's all too easy to end up with broken balls and tangled lights and have a full-on mess waiting for you next year. That's why you need a better plan, and one that includes the best Christmas ornament storage and smart ideas for packing away all of your other precious holiday items. But before we get into the best storage solutions, including Christmas tree storage bags for artificial trees, which are a total game changer, organizing experts urge you to take a few smart steps. Professional organizer Ellen Delap suggests grouping like items, for example, putting all of your tableware in one bin or grouping decor by room. Personally, I also like to color code those seasonal items in Christmas red containers, then label each side of each container. It's also a good idea to edit your collection before packing it up. Toss broken light strands and cracked coffee mugs and box up anything in good condition that you'd like to donate, setting a reminder in your calendar to do that in the fall, which is the best time to give these items to charitable organizations. With all of that in mind, let's start packing. You'll thank yourself next Christmas when all your holiday decorations come out of storage intact and so neatly organized, you'll swear an elf helped. So, how do you store Christmas ornaments? Well, in a word, carefully. Some of your ornaments are likely incredibly fragile, including your favorite sentimental do it yourself ornaments. But even the sturdy ones require their own special place where they won't bump against each other or other ornaments. And that's why you need a Christmas ornament storage bag with dedicated spots for each ornament. This one from Santa's Bags is our favorite. With its 2-tray setup, this has space for 48 ornaments, practical handles for easy lifting, and acid-free fabric to ensure your ornaments don't get damaged and discolor over time. And you'll also love the see-through window at the top so you can easily identify what's in the box. For extra delicate ornaments, the lab suggests reusing clean tissue paper from gift bags to add extra padding. Need a spot for smaller pieces or want to do it yourself your own or want to DIY your own setup? Repurpose empty egg cartons. Each egg well is a perfect spot for a miniature ornament. Just make sure to secure the carton with a rubber band before storing. Now, how do you store odd-shaped ornaments, figurines, and tree toppers? Well, as you know all too well, not everything will fit near neatly into those handy little ornament boxes. Odd-shaped ornaments and tall tree toppers end up poking out in weird ways, making it impossible to store them safely or even close the box. The other issue is that if you don't keep them stored snugly, you run the risk of damaging them. And while you could use cardboard wine cases for taller pieces, professional organizer Kathy Vines, who is the author of Clever Girl's Guide to Living with Less, likes storage boxes with adjustable dividers, which allow you to customize each compartment and store uniquely shaped pieces in exactly the way they need to be stored. This 12-slot box from Honey Can Do gets the job done. It's great for all those tall figurines placed around the holidays, raves one viewer. And since the compartments are adjustable, I can fit my mini decorative trees along with my taller and slimmer nutcrackers. It also comes with satin pouches, which offer an additional layer of protection. If you don't have these, try using single socks to achieve the same protective effect. And how about the best way to store an artificial tree, especially the big ones? Well, good news. If you purchase one of the best Christmas tree storage bags, you'll never have to wrestle your artificial tree back into the box again. Nope, that doesn't have to be one of your family's Christmas traditions. DeLapp prefers a wheeled version like this one from Covermates that fits up to a 9-foot tree to make your life much easier. And Vines' trick will take all the confusion out of setting it up next year. Use painter's tape and a Sharpie to number or letter the pieces. But most importantly, she says, to make it easier to assemble next year, the top goes in first and the bottom goes in last, because then that will be the first thing out next year. There you go. And how should you store tree skirts, stockings, and holiday pillows? Christmas ornament storage and tree storage aren't the only things you need to think about. Treat fabric items such as Christmas stockings and tree skirts with care, placing them in vacuum storage bags to prevent bugs, mildew, and dust from ruining them. And you'll also want to place your oversized pillows in these bags. And while this will protect them, this storage solution will also help you, since the pillows will now take up much less space than they would have otherwise. Organizing experts love Room Essentials storage compression bags because of their extra secure seal. Once compressed, stack them in a plastic storage tub for safekeeping. Here's a pro tip. Make sure to label the bags before sucking out the air, says DeLapp, or you'll probably have a hard time figuring out what's inside. Another good thing you can also use is those space bags. Those are really good as well, too. And all you got to do is put a vacuum to the nozzle, suck out the air, and it shrinks down to a size that keeps them fresh and keeps them vacuum sealed for up to a year or more or two more. But by next year, you'll have those same artificial trees looking pretty good, and those pillows that you made for your kids many, many years ago. So put them in storage space bags, suck the air out of them, and they'll be safe and stored properly without any problems. Now, next up, what is the best way to store inflatable lawn decorations? And you know who you are. Larger than life lawn decorations in the shape of angels, snowmen, and other Christmas symbols can be tricky to store off season. Forget trying to stuff them back into their original boxes. Instead, use oversized all-purpose storage bags with tops that unzip on 3 sides for easy access. This option from the Container Store is roomy and super affordable, ringing in at just $10. For an at-home option, you can also repurpose the clear zipper bag your bedding set came in. See? Recycling is a good way. Either way, you'll want to follow Vines' signature rolling system for these blow-up decorations. And after unplugging and deflating the character, hang it to dry for a few days. Then give it a good shake and lay it flat on the floor. Fold in to make a rectangle, then roll from the top down, squeezing out any remaining air as you go. You'll get a tight roll, and next season, all you'll have to do is unroll and inflate. Keep the stakes and tie downs in their own small bag inside the bigger bag so they won't get lost or puncture the fabric. And here's the easiest and best labeling idea ever. Store the instruction booklet facing out, says Vines, so you know which character is which. And how should you store spare bulbs and ornament hooks? Well, don't misplace the small stuff or you'll be kicking yourself next year. Spare holiday light bulbs, adhesive wall hangers, and extra ornament hooks are easily lost in the bottom of a big storage bin. DLAP recommends using a small plastic container with multiple compartments, like a tackle box, to hold these. This Wakeman Outdoors box has a secure-looking locking latch and an easy-access top compartment. Trust us, it is an essential part of Christmas ornament storage and one of the simplest organizing tips you wish you knew all along. And what's the best way to store those indoor Christmas lights? Raise your hand if you can't even count the amount of time you spend untangling light strands every year. It is seriously the worst part of decorating your tree. Well, we're about to change that, and this red trimmed zipper bag, which has 5-notch dividers, is the best way to store the Christmas lights. Simply wrap light strands around the dividers and then secure the plug to keep them in place. Oop, knocked that over. Yeah. You can click on Shop Now to view the product that we just talked about. Okay. Next up is the best way to store the outdoor Christmas lights. And no one wants to be that house, the one with lights up until spring. DeLapp says reeling in your outdoor lights is the easiest way to get them put away before May. Yep, a magical tool like this exists. A light winder is a durable metal reel that allows you to roll light strands so you can stash them in a storage container, completely tangle-free. Then next year, you can simply unroll the reel and wonder what to do with all of your newfound spare time, since you won't have to waste it untangling strands. Suggestion: visit one of the best Christmas light shows for more ideas. We love this Zober watertight bag because it fits 3 reels inside. Wow. Now, how about those wreaths? If you're tired of gluing broken pine cones back on squashed wreaths season after season, you'll be happy to learn that there's a storage option made just for delicate decorations. Heavy-duty red canvas storage bags with handles are the best choice. Handles are key, says DeLapp, because they let you hang the wreath even while it's storing it, which will make sure it doesn't accidentally get smushed under something else and also help it keep its shape. Yep. So in this case, use sturdy command hooks to hang your bagged holiday wreaths on the wall in a closet or your garage. This is a good tip for all REITs, whether you're putting away your Halloween or 4th of July decorations. And how should you store holiday swags and garland? Well, before removing garland and seasonal swags from door frames, fireplace mantles, and staircase banisters, the lab suggests labeling them and noting where they hang. That way, next year, it'll be easy to put them back in the right spots. Use giant 10-gallon Ziploc bags to store them. To prevent snarls, wrap the garland around a square of cardboard, says the lab. And you can click on that as well. Here's the other picture. How do you store other assorted holiday decorations? Well, like Christmas ornament storage, packing trains, mini villages, oversized Santas, and sleighs is easier than you think if you use matching 45-gallon wheeled Sterilite bins. Secure latches keep these bins closed, and we love the wheels. No more lifting. Just stow and go. This set of 4 in Christmas red features indented lids, which allow you to maximize space by stacking multiple totes securely. And to keep those items in tip-top shape, place train cars, figurines, and village pieces in their original boxes before placing them in this larger storage container, if you still have them. If not, use bubble wrap and packaging tape to protect their pieces, and pack the items close together. Empty space in storage bins means items can shift, resulting in damage. And one more essential tip, always remove batteries from items before you pack them away, since they can leak in storage. And there you have it, friends. Some very helpful hints and tips and tricks. Do keep this part of DMS episode 93 with you, because just in case you have to go back and you want to play back this particular part of the show, you can do so once it's been up on the program. We'll leave it up for quite some time for you. Jamie Novak is a cleaning and organizing expert with more than 20 years of experience. When she's not on deadline, you can find her searching for the mango slicer that mysteriously disappeared from her kitchen utensil drawer. The author of Keep This, Toss That, the practical guide to tidying up. She covers cleaning and organizing for readersdigest.com. And there you have it, friends. 11 ways to help you get back into the Christmas spirit by making your cleanup just as easy as you had when you was putting up the decorations. The teardown will be even easier than that. 6 minutes before 5 o'clock. When we come back, we'll look at our Christmas stories of wonder and love. There are 6 of them, but we'll read as many as we can as time permits, because we also have our motivation of the day and the end of our program and some other great stuff as well to tell you about before the end of the program as well. We'll be right back with more DMS 3000 News Live right after this.
You already know about Dairy Queen's great full meal deal. Home-style burger, fries,
along with soft drink and the famous Dairy Queen sundae. Now it's the holiday full meal deal.
And you get this great holiday glass. Collect a whole set.
The holiday full meal deal. Only at Dairy Queen. You get all this, plus a collectible holiday glass, all for the festive price of only $2.99. It's the season sensation at Dairy Queen, where we treat you right.
The hut was crisscross doodle bear with its own true palace with the lucky ducks and Bobby's baby sister Kelly. Right in the Batmobile.
Target knows exactly what kids want, like the Fisher-Price Flip Track Mountain. 45 pieces create a different race every day for just $29.88. Or this 3-in-1 creativity table for hours of fun, now $34.88 during Fisher-Price Week.
I want all the toys you have, please.
Children of the world.
To resist.
Okay, let's meet at Red Lobster in an hour.
Red Lobster?
This holiday season, there's no better place to meet than Red Lobster. For a limited time, enjoy our pound of shrimp dinner with succulent scampi, our big golden fried shrimp, and flame grilled shrimp. A whole pound of shrimp, specially priced. Red Lobster's pound of shrimp dinner, the perfect gift from us to you, ends soon. And for your holiday parties, enjoy party platters to go. Happy holidays from Red Lobster.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas from Carvel!
Wait a minute. You're not Santa Claus. You're Cookie Puss.
I know that, but we're both helping Santa this year at participating Carvel ice cream stores.
And don't forget the Carvel dolls. They make great gifts.
That's right, Hug Me the Bear. Want to send a Carvel ice cream cake or a Carvel doll to a friend? Phone toll-free 1-800-327-GIFT. That's 1-800-327-GIFT.
Happy holidays from Carvel.
Welcome to Woolworth, where there's always something worth shopping for.
Doll cases?
Every little girl's favorites, including baby doll, wardrobe trunk, and My Little Pony collector's case. Your choice, $10.99.
Cassette recorders.
Dual Deck Star Studio from Child Guidance with microphone and headset, now $69.99.
Playboards?
Sure, brand new with lots of magnetic action. Junior sets just $5, deluxe sets $10. Right now at Woolworth, where shopping for values is a tradition.
All right, welcome back to DMS 3000 News, and it's episode 93 on this Wednesday, December 27th, 2023. Hope you're having a fantastic week here. It's Christmas week all this time, and of course, I've got my Santa hat. Somebody was saying, why the hat all this week? Well, because we're still in the Christmas mood, folks, and why not? Our background shows it. It's snowing on the screen, and we're having fun with it. Right now, we're going to go ahead and go on the lighter side of things. Why not? With a look at some Christmas stories of wonder and love. And this is the Reader's Digest editors. This was updated April 10, 2023 from the book Chicken Soup for the Soul. It's Christmas. It's a perfect time to read about how other families experience the joy of the season. 'Tis better to give. A mother is a person who, seeing there are only 4 pieces of pie for 5 people, promptly announces she never did care for pie. Yes. Okay. I knew I was not supposed to be quite so excited. I was too old for that. At age 11, the oldest and my mom's grown-up girl, I had to keep my cool. I was in middle school after all, but every chance I got when I was alone, I checked each present under the tree. I read every tag and felt every package, guessing at the contents within. I had examined each gift so often that I could tell which present went to which person without even looking at the tags. It had been a tough year for my family. Whenever my mom looked over at the tree and scattered presents, she would sigh and warn us, there won't be as much for Christmas this year. Try not to be disappointed. Christmas had traditionally been a time for my parents to spoil us. In years past, the presents would pile up and spill out from under the tree, taking over the living room. I had heard the phrase, giving is better than receiving, but thought that whoever had said that must have been out of their mind. Getting presents was the whole point. It was the reason I couldn't get to sleep on Christmas Eve. On Christmas morning, we eagerly waited in the hallway until Dad told us everything was ready. We rushed into the living room and let the wrapping paper fly. We made weak attempts to wait and watch while other family members opened their presents, but as the time passed, we lost our self-control. Here's another one for you, said Mom as she handed me a package. I looked at it confused. Having spent so much time examining the presents before Christmas, I recognized this one, but it had not been mine. It was my mom's. A new label had been put on it with my name written in my mother's handwriting. Mom, I can't. I was stopped by my mother's eager, joyful look, and a look I could not really understand. Let's see what it is, honey. Hurry and open it. It was a blow dryer. And though this may seem but a simple gift, to me it was so much more. Being an 11-year-old girl, I was stunned. In my world where receiving outweighed giving by light years, my mom's act of selflessness was incomprehensible. It was a huge act, Tears filled my eyes, and I thought in disbelief about how much my mom must love me to give up her Christmas so I could have a few more presents. I have always remembered that Christmas fondly. It has such an impact on me. And as an adult with children in my life whom I adore, I can now understand my mom's actions. I see how she was not giving up her Christmas as I had thought, but was finding an even greater joy in her Christmas because giving truly is better than receiving. My mom's simple act meant the world to me. These Christmas miracles will restore your hope for the holidays. Jennifer Yardley Barney. Next story comes like this. The Christmas spirit strikes again. Blessed is the season which engages the whole world in a conspiracy of love. Hamilton Wright, maybe. Mabe. Yes. Story starts off like this. I always dreamed of pulling off the surprise prank of a lifetime. You know, the kind you see on TV or laugh about late at night with friends? Well, thanks to a little determination, some luck, and a generous helping of Christmas spirit, my dream became a reality. My family is Canadian, although my sister moved down to Australia a few years ago to study speech pathology. She was graduating just before Christmas, but due to my own scholarly schedule back home, I would not be unable to make it down in time for her graduation. She was understandably disappointed, and I felt guilty that I wasn't able to be there for her on this most special of occasions. While I was talking to my supervisor the week before my sister's graduation, the conversation drifted toward Christmas plans. When I mentioned that I would be missing my sister's graduation by less than 48 hours, she commented, "Well, if you want to go, I have no problem with it, so go ahead." I couldn't believe my luck. I nearly jumped for joy. "Just make sure you get permission from admin," she added. My heart sank. The administration at my school was notorious for denying any sort of time off requests, and last-minute pleas would undoubtedly draw nothing but ear. I almost didn't bother asking because I knew it would be a waste of time, and I didn't feel like a thorough chastisement. Plus, I knew the answer already, no. But something in me decided to try just in case. Maybe it was the hope that the Christmas spirit would somehow permeate the administrative office at this time of year. When I returned home to find the associate dean's reply in my inbox, I steeled myself for disappointment. I gritted my teeth, opened the email, and started to read, and reread, and reread, reread. And just to make sure I understood, approval? I could actually go? I rubbed my eyes. There must be a mistake. But no, I was flabbergasted. There was no logical explanation. I couldn't believe my luck. The only explanation I could possibly come up with was that the Christmas spirit had been lurking in the heart of my associate dean when she read my request. Immediately, I called the airline. Miraculously, even during the busiest Christmas season, I was able to change my ticket to arrive the day before my sister's graduation. With news this fantastic, I was bursting to tell my sister, but fingers on the dial, I paused. Wouldn't it be so much more fantastic if I could surprise her? Well, I pictured myself just showing up, knocking at her door. What a state of shock she would be in. I laughed gleefully to myself as I pictured her face when she opened the door and saw me. She loves pranks and practical jokes of all sorts. Pulling off a prank like this would certainly be the ultimate gift. And if I were successful, she'd probably be more excited about my unconventional arrival than even my attendance at her graduation. Slowly, the idea evolved in my mind. For a surprise of this grand a scale, I needed a much more dramatic arrival than just a ring of the doorbell. For me, Christmas surprises are epitomized by presents, or at least boxes. What if I could arrive in a box? I started to plot. Then, brilliance struck. Getting delivered in a box to my sister's house by couriers. I knew if I pulled this off, my presence at her graduation and my grand arrival would be the best Christmas present I could ever give my sister. No one appreciates a prank like a prankster. And although I was leaving in less than 72 hours, I frantically jumped on my computer in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, and started Googling courier companies. One of the first I came across, and the only one willing to go along with my Christmas surprise, was Couriers Please. At first, the branch manager said no, pointing out that Christmas was their busiest season and he couldn't spare a courier for this rather unorthodox request. But he suddenly and inexplicably warmed up to the idea and actually volunteered to dress up and deliver me himself. The Christmas spirit strikes again. Upon arrival in Australia, the manager met me in full uniform, but that wasn't all. He brought one of his couriers plus a Courier Please van along for the ride as well. They even had a reinforced box prepared for me that already tested at the office. I thought it would be easiest to walk up to the doorway and then jump in the box while they rang the doorbell. But no, they insisted. My sister might see me through the window, and they certainly didn't want to jeopardize my Christmas surprise. So instead, they parked a few hundred meters up the street, where they loaded me in the box and carried me all the way up to my sister's, where they rang the doorbell and announced they had a delivery for her. I couldn't see the look on my sister's face as she opened the door to Couriers with a surprise delivery, but I could tell from her voice that she was more than a little perplexed. This soon morphed into utter disbelief and shock when the box was open and she saw her older sister sitting inside and smiling up at her. She was at a complete loss for words, and I will never forget the look on her face as she opened those flaps on the box. It was such a gift to be able to attend my sister's graduation and to show her love, my love, by giving her the most unique, unconventional Christmas present in the history of our family. It was a memory both she and I will cherish forever. It also served as a lesson for me. Never, ever underestimate the power of the Christmas spirit. It can move hearts, minds, and yes, even people in boxes. Read up on these heartwarming true tales of vintage Christmas kindness. Heather Thompson. There you go. We have time for one more, and then we'll take a break. Sharing a legacy of love, compromise, if not the spice of life, is its solidarity. It is what makes nations great and marriages happy. Phyllis McGinley. Cute picture of the stable, the manger scene. When my mother died at the age of 84, my four sisters and I were heartbroken. How could we ever get over the loss of this warm and loving woman, a talented artist who enjoyed life in spite of its challenges and always doted on her husband, daughters, and grandchildren? For weeks after, my sisters and I would meet for dinner, laughing and crying over old memories. When it came time to sell the home that my mother loved, we spent many days in disbelief, clearing out her belongings. I remembered reading an Ann Landers column years earlier that discussed how many siblings fight bitterly over the possessions left by their deceased parents. I thought, how lucky we are that will never happen to us. Somehow, we easily and peacefully divided Mom's belongings, furniture, jewelry, and household items among ourselves and a few charities. Although I expected there might be a tug of war over her paintings, that never happened. Pretty good considering there were 5 daughters and 4 grandchildren, no conflicts, squabbles, or disputes at all, until we discovered the old nativity set in a box in Mom's closet. I remember Mom telling the story of how she acquired the manger. An old friend who did carpentry work gave it to my mom and dad as a Christmas gift when they were first married. My sister Eileen, however, remembers it differently. Mom told her she found the cliche in a garbage can belonging to Mrs. Bingham, the elderly lady who lived across the street from us. And unlike some of the ornate versions found in today's stories, this manger was crafted from dark wood and completely unadorned. Just a roof, a floor, and a railing surrounding it. Though beautifully crafted, there was one flaw. One side of the double gate in front was lopsided. Mom filled it with 3 figurines to start, Mary, Joseph, and the baby Jesus. For many years after, she continued to add others, the wise men, shepherds, angels, and animals. And as kids, we love the annual rites of the Christmas season, especially taking the nativity set and decorations down from the attic and carefully putting them in place. When the sisters all married and grandchildren came along, they added new characters of their own to the stable, including a set of the three little pigs. After Mom's death, when the nativity set emerged, no one was prepared for the battle that would follow. My sister Joanne was the first to claim the manger, insisting it was the only one of Mom's possessions that she really wanted. Her wish was granted. But when my niece Mandy found out, she called her from her apartment in California to voice her objection. She was clearly emotional as she repeated a decades-old promise made to her by my mother. Nanny promised me that I could have the nativity set when she was gone, she cried. The nativity set belongs to me. Well, Joanne felt strongly that as Mom's daughter, she had first dibs. Neither she nor Mandy would budge. When the disagreement showed signs of becoming a full-blown family feud, we realized something had to be done. Enter the family arbitrator, my sister Eileen, who somehow saw through the fog. But as Mandy's mother and Joanne's sister, could Eileen handle this dilemma fairly? Temporarily, she set aside the emotion of the dispute and thought logically the nativity set was just a wooden stable, not an irreplaceable masterpiece of art. The beauty was in the eye of the beholders, the perception of two people who coveted a simple item owned by someone they loved. Couldn't a copy be created? Of course. She would order the wood from the lumber yard and get someone to build a second manger. The following day, Eileen went to Center Millwork and stood in line behind several contractors ordering lumber from a young man with a crew cut. He was wearing a tag with his name, Brett, written in green magic marker. And when Eileen's turn came, she had to shout over the sound of buzzing saws. She pointed to the nativity set in her arms and told him the story, explaining that it was causing a major rift between her sister Joanne and her daughter Mandy. Well, Brett took the stable from her, held it up with one hand and laughed. They're fighting over this? Yes, Eileen explained. I know it seems crazy, but it was my mother's and they both loved her very much. Is there any way you could measure and cut some wood so we can have a duplicate built? Brett said, leave it here. I'll see what I can do. Eileen left, hoping he could come up with a minor miracle. That's what it would take to satisfy the two women in her life that were squabbling. A few days later, she received a phone message saying that her order was ready. And when Eileen arrived at the hardware store to pick up the wood, she couldn't believe what she saw. Two identical stables sitting side by side. Brett had not only cut and measured the wood, he had built a second manger. I know you wanted them to look the same, so I added a couple of dings and flaws that were in the original. Hope that's okay. Sure enough, the new stable had the same lopsided front gate. Okay, Eileen said in tears. You have no idea what this will mean to my sister and my daughter. To the entire family, I don't care what this costs. Your work has saved the day. That will be $3.75 for the materials, Brett said. When Eileen insisted on paying him more, he said, I didn't do it on company time. I built it at home, so I won't charge you for the labor. He pointed to the new manger. I hope this helps your family have a merrier Christmas. Eileen left Brett with a large tip and a big hug of thanks. When she got home and called Joanne and Mandy about her creative solution, they were very happy and extremely relieved that the problem was resolved. One phone call later, Joanne and Mandy had agreed that Joanne would take possession of the new stable as well as some of the old figurines, including Mary, Joseph, and the infant. Mandy would get to keep the original, just as Nanny promised. From Kathy Malia Levin. Beautiful story. Tomorrow, we'll look at the rest of those stories on our next program. So we'll pick up where we left off on tomorrow's edition of DMS 3000 News Live. We're going to take a quick break and then come back and look at our motivation of the day and wrap up this great Christmas show right here on DMS 3000 News, episode 93. We'll be right back.
Burger King has a great gift idea for the holidays that'll go a long distance. No, not another necktie for Dad. Or a necklace for Mom. Get up to 15 minutes of free crystal clear communication from U.S. Sprint when you buy a $5 book of Burger King gift certificates. Give the certificates to friends for great tasting Burger King food and use the free long distance to call anyone you like. So get fiber optic communication and ring in the holidays with Burger King. For great gift ideas, at Burger King, sometimes you've got to break the rules.
'Tis the season to save at Montgomery Ward. This Friday through Sunday, save an extra 5, 10, 15% throughout the store, even on sale prices. Save an extra 15% on all diamonds, gemstones, all robes, and more. Save an extra 10% on all 14-karat gold, all furniture, and more. All electronics and appliances are on sale. Then save an extra 5% on all refrigerators by Amana, GE, and more. Plus, shop late and save this Friday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. only.
Montgomery Ward, we won't be beat, guaranteed.
Dad, tomorrow, can we go to the playground?
All right, we're headed to the playground.
Yeah, we're going to the playground.
Have fun.
I'll see you later. I'm headed to the playground.
Yeah, just like that.
I've got one more. You think I've never been to the playground?
Shop Best Buy and experience the magic of giving the perfect gift.
We were walking in circles. I'm still dizzy. I never want to see them all again, ever. I just want to stay here and watch a movie.
Take a holiday from shopping. Make it a blockbuster night. Carly knew what she wanted.
I'll take the apartment.
So you're moving in today. Welcome to 113.
From the moment she moved in, someone was watching her every move. Sliver from Paramount Home Video, rated R.
'Twas a bit before Christmas, and all through the house, nothing was stirring, not even a... I ran to the kitchen, what could it be? Christmas crunch from the cabin to me!
This crunch is special to make breakfast merry. It's loaded with yummy red and green crunch berries.
Very sweet, delicious!
But it's only here till Christmas. Christmas crunch is a very merry part of this balanced breakfast.
Look, the soggies! And the crunch berries!
Who gave us these?
Captain
Crunch?
There's one of 4 jolly ornaments in each specially marked box of Christmas crunch.
As we wrap up this Christmas edition episode of DMS 3000 News Live, of course, I want to wish all of you guys a Merry Christmas and soon to be Happy New Year as we get closer to the end of this week. 2 more days and we'll be celebrating New Year's Eve weekend with our family and friends, and we will, of course, return to our programming for 2024 on January 2nd, which will be the Tuesday of the new week of the new year. So look for us on January 2nd with a new logo and, of course, some great, fantastic Christmas stories still going on strong. And, of course, we'll pick up with, of course, the 12 Days of Christmas next week. So all of that and more next week in January of 2024. We'll start that first week with a look at some more great stories pertaining to Christmas and some fantastic new stuff for the new year. Speaking of which, we have our motivation of the day today. And of course, Ralph Marston is going to give us another one of his inspirational messages. And we, of course, will read that inspirational message to you today. This one is entitled, Think, Do, Learn. Pretty much nothing unfolds in exactly the way you imagine it. You can speculate, reconsider, plan, and anticipate. Yet once you start to take action, everything changes. Action transforms thoughts into reality. And although thought and action each have value, they are decidedly distinct creatures and cannot be substituted for one for the other. Give thought to your actions, then give action to your thoughts. Use the results you get to improve and to better focus your subsequent thoughts and actions. In the initial stage of any endeavor, be prepared to, at best, stumble forward. On the next iteration, you'll do better and even better after that. And if you fail to win the gold medal on your first outing or your 25th, you're normal. If you let that discourage you and stop you from making the effort, you're foolish. Because over time, with persistence, humility, and an innovative spirit, and more persistence, you make real progress. Think, do, learn. Then think, do, learn. And your tenacity with doing so will bring whatever you seek within reach. Another great daily motivator from Ralph Marston to you. Folks, another great show has come to an end here on the program. And with 2 more days to the end of our last week of 2023, we'll have some wishes and some hopes and inspiration for you over the next couple of days. And, of course, get ready for our new week in 2024, the first week of January. Should be fun, and we'll see what we can come up with. And if you'd like any of these great stories or come up with some great ideas for our next shows with some great articles, drop us a line at the David 3000 Network, and your story could be read. And, of course, we'll be giving credit to you, of course, each other way how you look at it. Anyways, I'm Jason DeCanio for all of us here at the David 3000 Network. And here at the WJDC studios in beautiful Oviedo, Florida, wishing you Merry Christmas and a great evening. And remember to be honest, be real, and keep it simple, stupid. Yes. Good night, and we will see you tomorrow for another episode 94 of DMS 3000 News Live. Good night.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Advertising Network for great more content like this one.